Hello, Betty Crosby here. The last time I posted, I was talking about the bailouts, how the populace of capitalist countries were required to accept the fact that it would be taxpayers' money confiscated by the economic elites to bail out the banks and the biggest corporations who were threatening to go belly up, and they couldn't do that. It would bring down the entire economic facade, which is what it is. So the people accepted that more or less, that these banks and corporations had to be saved because a corporation meant corporations were jobs, meant jobs, and the banks meant that the world wouldn't stand still and start falling off every cliff imaginable and everything come to a screeching halt. So um, this had to be done. We were persuaded in order for COVID also now is complicating things, taking up another layer of reasons why we should continue to give to such a massive sums to corporations, heads of corporations, and uh, um, and the banks, the banking system. Uh, Again, it's a giving of public funds, people's taxpayers' money into a private sector of economic activity that we are persuaded the world can't do without. So, so that was the bailout, and but now something very strange is coming back up into uh, public talk. If you go, uh, well, if you browse the YouTube and other internet sources, you will find there is a resurging talk of bail-ins. Um, to explain a bail-in, I think all we have to do is look at Cyprus back in um, 2013. The country of Cyprus was in pretty terrible shape. It couldn't repay its loans to the international community, to Brussels. That's just what it is, to Brussels, to the international bankers who headquartered in Brussels. So what what Brussels was told by the bankers and the very elite people who know about these things was that, well, one thing that Cyprus could do and perhaps should do is appeal to the Cyprus citizens that it is their duty to pay directly out of their accounts into a bail-in, and these monies from citizens of Cyprus accounts would do the trick in saving the banks. Now, this has been unheard of. It's unheard of that this should have been suggested, not only suggested, but rather demanded, that this would be the easiest way instead of burdening citizens with taking their pension funds and other funds, educational funds, whatever that keep the country going directly. They would just take it from the citizens even more directly. So they all sat down and had this talk, the Cyprus government and the elites, the money banking elites from Brussels, and they hit upon this plan was that well, let me tell you how the BBC explained it. They explained it. Uh, this was directly from the was it CD? No, it's a BBC. It says people in Cyprus with less 100,000 euros will have to pay a one-time tax of 6.75%, Eurozone officials said. And the reporter goes on to advise us that the levy itself will not take effect until Tuesday. This is speaking from still from 2013. Um, will not take effect until Tuesday following a public holiday, but action is being taken to control electronic transfers over the weekend. So, so how clever they are! How clever they are! Uh, to announce the robbery over a 3-day weekend, so the banks will be closed. So the Cyprus citizens whose accounts are going to be robbed of this tax, this levy, um, can't get to the bank and take their funds out. So they then, um, as a rather an afterthought, the banks uh, will still be very busy, and they say this, draining citizens' saving accounts electronically. This is so egregious, and it just leaves me breathless that to think that a country could do this to its citizens and to its poor citizens at that. Actually, the people who have over 100,000 euros in their savings won't be bothered at all. Uh, most people who have $100,000 don't just have it in a savings account. They will have invested it in other things. So this hits a lot of working class people, poor people who have saved. Every paycheck, some goes into savings because they know that probably they're not going to be too well taken care of when they have to retire. And so this is called a bail-in, where that's the working class who has their savings accounts looted to further support the elites who are making money regardless of what happens. The elites still just make more money while the poor, through such little actions as this, just get poorer. Now, you may think, well, that's in a foreign country. We don't have anything to do with anybody in Cyprus or people in Cyprus, or not very much anyway. And it can happen here. Well, you know, it may very well happen here because it may surprise you to know that Canada has already set up the mechanism for just such a scenario in case the banks in Canada start getting into real trouble because they've not given out the money that has been shoveled to them. They've just sat on it. And they're private, remember, they invest themselves so that we have this most, in my opinion, corrupt of organizations in the driver's seat, and influence the Canadian government, at the moment, the Trudeau government, how to best serve them and let the others, let the working class, the poor, let them eat dirt, more or less. So I will elaborate more on how Canada has prepared for just such a scenario. And in case there are bank failures, bank runs. And you should know these things, okay? We all should know these things. So next time, thank you. Bye.